friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a wedding get ready with me. I'm currently in Michigan for my cousin's wedding, and Nick and I, his legs are in the background, are getting ready for a wedding. And I obviously am traveling, but it is a formal wedding, and how I do my makeup is a little bit more intricate for weddings, obviously, than my everyday makeup, so I thought I'd bring you along. I will say we are in a very, very cute bed and breakfast, but there is a lot of road noise, and there might be people walking, and obviously we're in a very small room, so that's why Nick is in here. So sorry about that road noise in advance. I tried to do as much as I could, but you know, there's not really anything you can do. Alright, so I already have 3 things on my face from this morning. I have my sunscreen, which is my Bliss Blockstar Daily Sunscreen. I have the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, and I have my ColourPop Lime Lip Balm. So those things I put on this morning. Other than that, everything else that I'm going to be putting on for this wedding on my face, you guys will see. So let's go. I am going to mainly be using my phone as a little mirror, but I also have little compacts. This is a Coach one that Nick got me. Thank you, Nick. And I also have my very beat up melt hand mirror at this point, but so you might see me using this as well for the more detailed things. And everything I have is in these 2 little bags, so I will be rifling through them as I go. I usually would only bring 1 bag, but because it's a wedding, I wanted to be able to have everything that I could possibly want to do my makeup. So yeah. Something that's not different though is I'm going to be using my NARS concealer as like my all over face base. It looks a little too light for me, probably because it's summer and I'm getting a little more tan, but I promise you it's not, and it won't look that weird once I'm done. I love this concealer. It's very creamy. It's very easy to apply with the fingers. I just think it looks really good, and I don't really wear foundation, and this stays honestly all day. Doesn't crack, doesn't crease, even in the summer. I do have very dry skin though, so take it with a grain of sand. I have very, very dry skin. If you don't have dry skin, this might crease on you. And I do just have like a little zit right there, so I'm just gonna go in and try to cover it one more time. And then I usually do my chin as well. Like I said, very easy. The sunscreen I use does have a little bit of a tint to it, so that also helps even out my skin tone in general. And I'm using the Poreless Primer, so yeah. And I like skin to look like skin. It's not like my wedding or anything, so I'm not too concerned about it. Just going in between my eyebrows to really even out that space as well. And with that, the base is done basically, and obviously I'm going to be putting on blush and things like that, and maybe a little powder, but other than that, yeah, this is the base. Let me clip my bangs up really quickly. I love having bangs, but they really do love to just be in the way. I will say though, clipping them up always looks ridiculous, but it's okay. I'm going to be doing my hair for the wedding still, so just trying to clip them up and out of the way. The little butterfly clips. Okay, now I can get to my face a lot easier. So I do all my cream products first and then my powder products, so I'm going to go in with a blush. This is from Rare Beauty, and it is in Virtue, and it's a really pretty like nudie peach color. I just need the smallest little amount. If you've used a Rare Beauty blush before, you'll know. And then I have my MAC little brush, and I'm gonna buff it out, and it is gonna look insane at first. Like I said, you only need the tiniest little amount. But I promise you won't look that crazy once I blend everything else out. Okay, so there's the base of blush. And this is gonna look like a lot of blush, but I promise you at the end, it's not going to look like a lot of blush. Next, I'm gonna take this little blush and bronzer duo from Dibs. This is a cream bronzer. I don't have the shade. Oh, it's the number 2. I'm just going to go in with the hollows right here. And again, doing all my cream products before I do my liquid, and we're just gonna do a little dot under the chin as well. Taking that same brush, I'm gonna brush it upwards. Next, I'm just gonna take an eyeshadow primer. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer, and I have probably used 4 or 5 of these at this point. I just repurchased that one. And I'm just gonna put it all the way on my lid, all the way up to my brow bone. I try to get up here in the inner corner as well because I put eyeshadow there too. And I try to get out past my brows a little bit because I like to blend things out. So anywhere that I'm gonna put eyeshadow, I want that primer there. Okay, now I have this little Jouer cream eyeshadow crayon, and it's in the shade Surreal. And it's a little bit darker than what I usually use, but I use this as like a little bit of a contour stick. So I am gonna get my mirror for this so I can see, but I just go under my nose slightly. It's very creamy and very easy to blend out. I just blend it out with my fingers. And then I go around my lips a little bit. It just helps give the impression of having slightly fuller lips. Like I said, it's just a little bit of a contour. And then I kind of just go right under my chin as well. And again, that just helps my face look a little bit more sculpted, and I really like it. Okay, so now I finished all my cream products. I'm gonna go in with a powder product. I have this mini of my Coty Airspun, and I have my normal brush. This is the Bare Minerals Max Coverage Concealer Brush. And I just take a little bit of the powder on here. And I'm just going to set underneath the eyes. This really helps brighten up my under eye and also sets that concealer in place. It is a bit of a thicker concealer, so I wanna make sure that it is nicely set. Same thing on the other side. I like to set all the way up into the inner corner of the eye as well, even though it might not be creasing. Again, this is also brightening, so I like to brighten in there too. Okay, great. Now I'm just gonna take that same powder and I'm going to take just a tiny, tiny little bit. And I'm going to set next to my nose. Again, helping brighten, and also it's going to keep the places on my face, a little bit on my chin, that get the shiniest, nice and matte, especially for photos throughout the day and throughout the night, because we're obviously going to be there for a long time. So I just want to set places that usually get shinier. Again, like I said, I have very dry skin, so I don't want to set anywhere else on my face. Sometimes I set a little bit under here, but usually because I have such dry skin, anything that I set too much is gonna feel very bad on me and also going to look very cakey. Okay, next up I'm going with my LOC Tati shadow stick, this tiny little thing at this point, and I'm just gonna highlight in between my Cupid's bow right here. And also on the tip of my nose and down my nose bridge. So it's just the tiniest amount, but I think it really does highlight it well. And I obviously have used this product for like 2 years every day now, so I'm very used to the look of it, whether or not it looks good, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Bite Size Duo and just take the tiniest little bit right here. It'll just help blend seamlessly into the eyeshadow here. And it also gives me an excuse to use a little bit more of it. But I think it goes really well with Virtue. And really the last of my base products, I'm gonna go in with my bronzer, and I'm just going to put it anywhere I put the cream bronzer. So under the cheekbones, under the chin, down the neck. I want this to be super blended. And just in case, I always like to put it on my forehead, even though I have bangs and you never ever see my forehead, and my bangs will be down for the wedding as well. But just in case there's like a harsh breeze or something. And we're just going to take the tiniest bit and go down the sides of the nose. I'm going to take the excess blush and just go over the bridge of my nose as well. Just gives it a nice cohesive look. Okay, so this is all the base stuff done. This is what the base is looking like. Nice and flushed. I really do want the look to be very like Grecian goddess-esque. I have a one-shoulder dress that I think will look very good that way. One thing I am going to do outside of the norm for me is I'm just going to take the bronzer again and I'm going to bronze my collarbone. Because it is a one-shoulder dress, I want my collarbone to be very accentuated. Because it's going to be very like, it'll also match my face a little bit better as well. I've gotten a lot of neck injuries in my life and you can see my neck has a lot of, it just looks very interesting. And I have like a worse side obviously. So your neck probably won't look like mine, but if it does, just know that no one has ever commented on it and it's all usually me that notices it. All right, so now we can move into everything not face related. So I'm gonna move into doing my eyes. The dress I'm wearing has very like neutral tan and neutral brown flowers, like not too warm. So I didn't want anything too warm toned. So I did bring this Beauty Bakery The Chosen Bun eyeshadow palette and I'll show you what it looks like. But it just has a lot more neutral, kind of like lighter shades, and I thought that this would look very pretty with the flowers on the dress. Obviously do have more of like a peachy blush, but I always have a peachy blush, so I wanted to do something a little more neutral for the eyes. So the first shade I'm going to go into is actually Dough right here, and it's the lightest shade. I'm going to take this huge brush from Luxie, and I actually use this for eyeshadow up here, but I'm just going to take a little bit of it on the brush. I do wish that palette had a mirror, but it's okay. And I'm just going to start buffing it into the outer third here, and it's going to really help define the space, the lid space. Make it look very blended. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna start deepening out the outer third. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do with the makeup yet. Again, I want it to look very like Grecian goddess, so I feel like that's very light makeup, but I'm not great at doing, I mean, I always do pretty light makeup, but I'm not good at doing like no makeup. So it will be makeup. I'm gonna take this little It Cosmetics brush, and I'm going to go into Sugar Glaze, which is this very like neutral light brown, and I'm gonna start building up that inner third, or that outer third. If you have slightly hooded eyes like me, I try not to put anything in the actual crease, but actually right above the crease, and that helps make the eyes appear a little bit bigger. Putting anything directly into the crease is not going to really help you at all, because you can't really see that crease when my eyes are relaxed. Like, look, you can't really see that crease at all, but if you put it over the crease, then that's the spot that you actually see.
Wait, move for 1 second. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
Okay, so I swatched out all of the shimmers that I brought with me on this trip. These are also two shimmers up here. They're just not as metallic, because I wanted to see the undertones of these, because I don't want it to be too warm. And I feel like these two are the least warm, but I actually think up here, I'll swatch them again so you can see them. Okay, these two right here, I actually think I'm going to go in with more of a subtle shimmer and accent with these two right here. So taking the flat side of the It Cosmetics brush, these are actually my Smashbox highlighters that I've been, you know, trying to use up. I used up one last year, but I'm just going to go all over the lid with the lighter of the two. Yeah, it's very subtle and pretty. I'm getting a little closer so you can see the eye looks a little bit better. So I have that shimmer all over the lid. Now I just have to start deepening the outer third even more. So I'm gonna go back in to Cinnamon, which is right here. Again, it's a little bit of a darker tan. And I'm just gonna start putting it in this outer third. Okay, I love that back in. I want my eyes to be very lifted. So I'm trying to keep everything going upwards. Nothing really going downwards. Can I take a blending brush and just blend out this line? It got a little harsh. Much better. So I'm going to take a little liner brush and I'm going to go in to Brown Sugar here, and I'm just going to start lining my upper lids. I'm going to start by, I know it's an eyeshadow, but I forgot an eyeliner, and so I'm just going to start by tight lining under my upper eyelid. And I do this by stamping the eyeshadow into the waterline there. This just really helps your lashes look fuller, and it really highlights the eyes. So you can see here, this one has been tight lined and this one hasn't. You can just see how much like darker my lashes look and how much more defined my eye looks. So I'm gonna do the other side as well. Okay, so now I've tight lined both of my eyes. I just tight lined the top. Sometimes I go in and tight line the bottom of this inner corner, and I might do that later, but for now I'm just leaving it like this. I'm just gonna go with that same shimmer again, and I'm gonna highlight right here in the middle of my eye, and it's just gonna really help brighten my eyes as a whole. So the tops are very defined, the bottoms are very bright. And a lot of times if I tight line the top with eyeshadow, it will transfer slightly to the bottom, especially in the inner corner, because obviously that's where my eyelids touch. So a lot of times I don't need to tight line the bottom and it'll get naturally tight lined there. Okay, so I think if this was an everyday makeup look, I could kind of stop here for eyes, but I want it to be a little bit more dramatic. So I'm gonna take the same dark brown and I'm just gonna kind of line the upper lashes here very close to my actual lashes. And again, this isn't really that noticeable except for making my lashes appear fuller. The one thing I don't want to do though is because I have hooded eyes, I don't want to line too high up because that line will transfer, and that is really, really difficult if you have a very dark eyeliner and you want it to stay all day long. So I'm going to leave it lined there. But what we are going to do is just take that same brown and we're going to flick out a little bit of a wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out, like if I'm looking straight ahead, I want it to just slightly go right here. So towards, a lot of people say towards the end of your eyebrows. My face shape does not work for that at all. If I was to do a line towards my eyebrows, it would look like it was going almost straight up, and I have very long, like more almond shaped eyes, and so they're kind of pointing that way. So what I actually want to do is follow where my bottom lash here, follow the line that my bottom lash is pointing towards. So my bottom lash goes like this, so I can just go like that. And we are just doing the tiniest little hint of a kitten, and we're just gonna fill that in. Like that, very, very small. Not supposed to look like a wing at all, and when I have lashes on or mascara on, it's not even gonna be noticeable. So same thing, that bottom eyelash right here, just gonna follow that and make a little stamp. Now my eyes are actually different shapes, so I want to make sure that they look identical, but they're not going to be identical on my eyes, but they're going to look identical. So by following that last eyelash, I've made sure that they look identical even though they are not identical. What I want to do now is just do more kind of up in this crease here. So I'm actually going to take this really big brush again and go in with that same dough color, and I'm just going to really get that color up and over here. Alright, so I have decided to tightline my bottom just a little bit, so I'm going to go in with that same dark brown and this really small brush, and I'm just going to stamp it right here. And I can kind of connect that with that little wing here. Okay, so liner done, eyeshadow mainly done. I do want to do some like little highlights, mostly like inner corner and things like that. So I'm gonna take this brush right here, and I use this for my inner corner. And I'm gonna go in with icing, which is this one up here. It's like the very bright white shade, and I'm just gonna put the tiniest amount in my inner corner right there. Just really opens up the eyes. It's very metallic, so it's very like there. And I'm just gonna also take a little tiny bit of it and put it under the brow bone too. It's very sparkly. I'm doing this before I fill in my brows because otherwise my brows would be sparkly. Yes, that is. And then we're just gonna kind of take a little bit, tiny bit of it and put it on the lid as well. Just really highlighting the areas. And we're gonna go in with Fresh right here. And we're just gonna go in between the end and this. So I just made the eyes just a tiny bit more metallic, and I'm gonna kind of go up into the beginning of the crease too. And that's just gonna help open my eyes up even more. So you can kind of barely see it, but it's just right here I put more. Okay, I'm very happy with that. We're gonna move on to brows right now, because otherwise I'm gonna overthink it. We're just gonna go in with this little end of the brush. It's a tiny little brush, and we're gonna go in, of course, with burnt orange and fill in my brows. It's very easy. I just start kind of before like the end of it, and I go in first there with the main product, and then I take the excess that's on the end and I just kind of flick it up in the start of my brows. There you go, brow filled in. Look at that. Natural redhead right here. Same thing with the other brow. This is my better brow. I don't know if anyone else is like me, but I definitely have like a brow that behaves and a brow that does not behave. This is my brow that doesn't behave. Okay, so those are my brows filled in. I like to go in with this Build-A-Brow pen, and this is not red at all. It's actually very like neutral right there. See, it's like not red at all, but I don't do it to like fill in my brows entirely. I just do it for the spots that are a little more sparse so that they don't look unnatural, like the ends, anything that needs a little bit more detail work. I have like a bald spot right here in my brows, and then same thing on this side. This is my good brow, but I just go into the end really and fill in any little spots, and that helps them just look a little bit fuller. Okay, brows are done except for brow gel. I'm just gonna go in with my lip liner. This is my Kose lip liner, and I'm gonna line my lips. Okay, this is really about defining them more than the color of them, because I do want a little bit of a lighter lip. But I'm just gonna go in with my CoverGirl lip stain, and this is in Shugi Girl, and I'm gonna fill in everything that I didn't line. It's a very nice nudie pink, and the reason I'm doing this is it's a lip stain, and I'm gonna be putting a lip gloss on, but if the gloss fades, I want my lips to still have some color to them, so I stain them in like a nude-ish color, so it just looks like my lips, but better. And we're just gonna take a finger and rub out the harsh line. Though that is kind of a look, I don't want it to look like that. So now this is what my lips look like. And this, if you didn't know any better, could just be my natural lips. I think we're kind of good to go in with the brow gel right now. I have this Got2b glued brow gel, and it is so big, but it works really well. And it's just like a little spoolie. And I just go in and I fluff up the front part of my brows, and then I lay the rest of my brows down so they don't move. I do have curly hair, as we are aware, and curly brows love to move around and just kind of curl back into themselves. So I kind of press them down so that they stay. They look really nice the whole day. And this is why we highlighted before the brows, so that they just look naturally highlighted. I think they look very nice. I always do this for formal events, but I'm gonna go in with a freckle pen and I'm going to just go over where my normal freckles are because I've just covered them up and I want them to be visible. So I just go in, make sure my fingers are clean. I just go in where my normal freckles are. I put some dots and then I blend them out. That's it. If you have freckles and you hate having them covered up for formal events, I highly, highly recommend doing it this way. It's just so much easier than trying to like wipe away your base from your freckles. And it looks very realistic because you have your own freckles peeking through, and also you already have freckles, so no one's going to doubt that you have freckles. No one's gonna be like, did you fake those freckles? It's like, no, you know I have freckles. And because I'm extra, I have two. I have this little freckle pen, and I also have Freck, and Freck is a little bit darker, and so I like to just take that just in very sparse areas and blend those out, and it just really helps with dimension and everything. I typically, if I didn't have bangs, would also go on my forehead. Maybe I'll put a couple, but I mean I have bangs, so you can't see them anyway. You can't see the freckles on my forehead anyway. Okay, so I was kind of debating whether or not I was going to put false eyelashes on, but before I even consider doing that, I have to curl my eyelashes. I never ever do this except for formal events, so I do have an eyelash curler. I will never curl my eyelashes for everyday makeup. It's just not worth it to me, but for a formal event, it is. So I'm just going to go to the base. I do one big press to curl up, hold it, and then I go up the lashes as well. All right, I'm gonna go in with my Monsieur Big mascara, of course, and I'm very careful when I do my mascara for formal events because I do have hooded eyes and my eyelashes are now curled, and so they like to touch my eyeshadow that I just spent a lot of time and effort on. Okay, so I put on the Monsieur Big, and I have very watery eyes, and so my mascara would go everywhere if I didn't top everything with a tubing mascara. I'm using the Milani Highly Rated Lash Extensions Tubing Mascara, very difficult to say. And I'm just gonna go over the Monsieur Big. This also does take a little bit to dry, so I have to be very careful with this. It loves to go on my lower lid. I could not tell you why, but it loves to go on my lower lid. Okay, so there's the difference. You can kind of see how much longer my lashes are on this side. I do like my lashes to look a little bit fluffier than like long and stick-like, but we'll take what we can get. So usually I would also do bottom mascara, but I'm kind of debating not doing bottom mascara today. I really just feel like my eyes look very lifted, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. For right now, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna move on to highlighter. I love a good highlighter. Usually I would use my Mud Masky blush drops, but I wanted a little bit more of a softer highlight. So today we're actually gonna go in with this MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Beaming Blush, and it is really, really pretty. So I'm actually gonna take that brush I used for my eyeshadow, and I just wiped it off, and we're gonna go in to the Beaming Blush and just go right over here. It's got a beautiful like golden kind of finish, and it is gorgeous. And we're just going over the high points. So I'm gonna take this highlighter from my e.l.f. Bite-Sized Duo, and I'm just gonna go over the very, very high points because it is a little bit brighter. Yeah, you can see there, it's a little bit brighter of a highlighter. Very metallic. And it'll kind of offset that gold a little bit more. Yeah. So now if you catch my cheekbone from the side, blinding. And the last little thing I do, usually with my makeup, is I'm gonna go in with my setting powder, and I'm gonna go right here. I have these little divots right here, my eyes, that you can kind of see more prominently. And if I am trying to make my eyes appear more open and like they're going up, I just kind of go in and I set that little bit with my setting powder. It's the last little thing I do. Just makes my eyes appear more lifted. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be doing any falsies today. I really like the look how it is, but I'm just going to go in with a lip gloss. This is the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm Lip Treatment in Spiced Cider. Got it in the fall, obviously, and it's a gorgeous, I know it says lip treatment, but I count it as a lip gloss, and it is so moisturizing, so actually pillowy, and it has the most beautiful shine to it. It's got a good, like, light nude shimmer to it. Okay, so with that, this is the final look. It's a very, like, light, formal, kind of woodlandy, I don't know. I have freckles, I'm nice and blushed. I think it will look very good with the dress. I am going to just highlight my collarbones very quickly, and I'm gonna use the e.l.f. highlight for that as well. And I'm just gonna go on my shoulders a little bit, and I'm gonna highlight those as well. It just helps it look like, I don't know, you're glowing, you're healthy. Beautiful, she's shimmering, she's shining. Love it, love to see it. Okay, with that, that is my makeup. I will probably do my hair off camera because my hair is a whole different beast, but I will come back when my hair is done and my dress is on, and I will show you guys the final look. Okay, don't mind the fan, it looks very precarious, but...
Let me turn it off.
No, it's
I
okay.
didn't realize you're actually filming.
This is my hair. I'll do a little spin. And these are the earrings. So this is with the whole makeup look. My dress is one-shouldered, like I said. I did put, obviously, a little bit of highlighter on my collarbones,
Standing here.
on my shoulders. Nick is just standing there. We curled Nick's mustache. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Nick. This is Nick. Well, you probably see him earlier in the video. But, yeah. So, this is...
I look like I'm in the Beatles.
in a good way. In a good way. And I'll try to get a picture and put it in here of my full dress, probably from the actual wedding. No, it'll be over here.
We'll be over here.
Over here. Okay. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun filming it. I hope you're having a great day, week, month, year, wherever you are. And I hope you enjoy any weddings you get to go to this year, because I know I'm going to enjoy this one today. If you like this video, please like it. And if you like me, please subscribe. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.